Hey folks, welcome back to Three Zen. Got all choked up for a minute there, disregard. Anyway, so when I came back from rehab, a 28-day rehab program, I call it basic training because it essentially was a basic training program for life for me. There was so many things I heard there. I suppose I'd heard them before, but I didn't hear them. Okay. So I come back, and there was quite a laundry list of requirements that I had to meet in order to keep my job at Northwest Airlines. I had to meet with the chief pilot once a month. I had to fly up to Minneapolis and meet with the chief medical officer once a month for about 9 or 10 months. I'll tell you a little bit more about that little twit. He gets his own video, if you will. And then I had to attend counseling once a week at Toledo Hospital. And of course, all through that, I had to attend AA meetings. The first 10 months of my recovery, I was grounded. I was off the flying program. And to their credit, I never missed a paycheck. And I'll tell you what, I am so grateful for that. But at any rate, I would go to AA meetings 2, sometimes 3 times a day. I mean, I didn't have anything else to do during that time. And I enjoyed them. I actually got quite a bit out of them. And it was during one of these meetings in White House, Ohio, my home group, that I met Dave G. And Dave was an old timer, if you will. He's probably about 7, 8 years older than I am. But he had a ton of sobriety at that time, and I'm the new kid walking in. And after I'd been there a couple of weeks, Dave looks over at me and he says, you know something, Bob? He says, I don't think you'll ever get sober. And I kind of looked at him, now why would you say that? He says, because you're just too damn smart to get sober. Well, that pissed me off. I mean, I just sat there and didn't change my facial expression or anything, just sat there and slow burn. But I heard what he was saying. And so I just put it aside. And like they said, focus on principles, not personalities. And I took to heart what he said. And as it turned out, God, he really helped me. But I was so pissed off that night. You're too smart to get sober. Kiss my ass. Anyway, I didn't say that, did I? Anyway, so as the years went by, Dave and I became fast friends. And I'll tell you what, it's another friendship that I treasure. And we were talking one time, and he was telling me he never knew his father. His father had been killed in a B-24 accident in Texas. That's all he knew before he was born. So I asked him if he had his dad's Social Security number or his serial number, Army Air Corps serial number, and he did. So he gave it to me, and as I've mentioned in prior videos here, I've done a fair amount of accident investigation. So I was able to take his name and those serial numbers, and I'll be dang, I found the accident he was killed in. It was a B-24 crash out in El Paso. And I was able to dig up the actual accident report, and it turns out he was a turret gunner. Top turret gunner. I think he might have also been a flight engineer on a B-24. And they had taken off, geez, you look at the ages of those kids, 19, 20, 21, 22. I mean, just young kids flying those airplanes. And they were doing some pattern work and ran into some engine problems, and they didn't make it back to the field, and they all perished. But anyway, I took what I had from that accident report and some other pictures, and I put it all together in an album that was easily translatable to somebody that didn't understand military jargon. I was able to translate what was meant by this, what that meant, and so forth. And I gave it to Dave. And it was remarkable to see him at that breakfast table that morning, over coffee, of course, sitting across from each other. Watching him go through that, he saw the orders, he saw the crew members, and he was just totally mesmerized by that. At any rate, he took that book and he carried that book with him everywhere. Anybody and everybody who came into his body shop, he would sit him down and point out everything. And oh God, that made me feel good to be able to help Dave like that, even though I was too smart to get sober. Anyway, so moving along, one day Dave calls up and he said, "Hey Bob," he said, "can I come over? I want to talk to you a little bit." And I said, "Well, of course you can come over. You don't need to make an appointment, just pop in." So he comes over to the house and we sit down on the front porch and he says, "I have something I want to ask you." And I said, "Yeah, go ahead." He said, "Would you be my sponsor?" That humbled me. And I said, "Do you think I'm smart enough?" At any rate, we laughed about that, and we continue to this day to be close friends. Around the year 2000, I decided that I was going to, actually a little later than that, 2002, I decided that when I retired, I didn't want to climb stairs up to my master bedroom anymore, so I decided to build the mother of all master bedrooms on the back of my house. I had the room for it. So I found a timber frame company and got a hold of an engineer, and he said, "What do you have in mind?" And we didn't have internet like we have it today, but I just explained to him what I wanted to do and so forth. His name was Jim Ballmer. What a great guy he turned out to be too. Anyway, I called him up and I said, "Okay, here's what I got." And I said, "I can send a picture to you." I had to send it snail mail, and I said, "Just want you to tack it on the back of the house." And I said, "I want you to pile as much sex and violence in that room as you possibly can." And true to form, he designed a 600 square foot bedroom with 19-foot ceiling and a 400 square foot bathroom with anything you could ever ask for to go in that bathroom. And it was just a piece of work, if you will. And what I'd do is, beginning in 2002, after they poured the slab and they erected the timbers, the posts and the beams, because I didn't have the capability to do that, and then they attached the stress panel walls, well, I would come home from flying, and I'd change out of my flying costume, put on my work clothes, and go out there and work a few hours and so forth, and work on it off and on. It took me 4 years to complete that room, but what a beauty it was. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit further down the road than I wanted to get here. As I was working on that room, I'd get up 5 o'clock in the morning, walk downstairs, start making a cup of coffee, and I'd see somebody standing in that room. You could see it out the back window fine until then. And I'd go out there, and here was Dave, just standing there looking around. He was totally mesmerized by that master bedroom, master bathroom. And then one day, I think Sandy, his wife, came over, and we're all three standing there, coffee cups in hand or whatever. And she says, "Oh my," she says, "I'd make this a recreation room." And I said, "Exactly what I planned to do, Sandy, just what I planned to do." And so we just kind of Dave and I laugh, and she just shrugged her shoulders, and what can you do? Just let it go. But anyway, through the years, Dave and I have maintained this friendship, and like I said, it's one I treasure, and maybe one of these days I'll get smart enough to get sober or dumb enough to get sober. Whatever it takes, I'll do it. Anyway, thanks, Dave, and thanks to you folks for tuning in and listening. With that, this is Bobo, Bass Gear.